The microwave isn't cutting anymore. I need an arc furnace. The actual furnace is pretty simple. I can just use a crucible from my last video. But I do need to build a power supply. My first idea was to get 2 microwave transformers and wire them in parallel. Just the output a little bit to get a lower voltage, higher amps. And that should give you what I need. I already have 1 transformer from an old microwave. But where am I going to get a second old broken microwave that no one cares about? So after carefully removing the transformer from this microwave, I did some modifications. Remember, microwave transformers are the leading cause in hobbyist deaths. At over 2,000 volts, you need to be extremely careful with these things. I've taken every safety precaution taught to me in the most esteemed school that I went to in my imagination. After days of experimentation and modifying this transformer, my dad told me he had an old welder power supply that he used. He told me this thing puts out 10 volts at 220 amps, which would get me a relatively small arc, but it would be hot enough for what I need. Here's one problem though. Any electrode that I use will melt pretty quickly. Luckily, we have carbon. Carbon has a melting point of roughly 15,000 degrees Fahrenheit. And I can get them really cheap on Temu. A typical electroplating design will have this crucible as a negative and this rod as a positive, and it will slowly push the rod inside until it hits the metal, making an arc, melting everything. To start off, I'm gonna keep it simple with just some aluminum can. That's good. No idea what that black smoke could have been. Alright, let's actually try the aluminum now. It's a little hot. It's quite a bit hot actually. Ouch. What am I supposed to do with this? That's neat. Alright, I want to make an actual ingot though, so I'm gonna make a mold. Right here is my mom's cooking tray and some dirt. There's one slight issue we could run to here. If there's any moisture in that dirt, it will explode violently, so we need to cook it to dry it out. I would just toss it in this easy bake oven, but it's not big enough, so we're gonna have to use the arc. It's been way better than I expected. I realized about halfway through pouring that I did a really bad job cooking the moisture off this, and it was probably going to explode and throw hot metal at me. You know. That's pretty cool. But I got all these cans that I want to make out of some ingots, some angle iron. Yeah. As I was saying before that seizure interrupted me, I want to make some ingots. But to do that, I need an actual mold, you know, not dirt. And so I made this one out of angle iron. But oh no, can big, crucible small. Luckily, I have a new cutting edge solution in compression and precision. After cutting everything, I put it in the crucible, melted it down, and put more in. Then I got this random piece of metal to scrape the slag off of it. And then this is getting kind of warm, so I got some actual welding gloves to keep from burning myself. I was worried that metal would stick to all the spatter from my crappy welds, but it actually came out pretty well. Alright, that's enough voiceover. Too bad I recorded everything in voiceovers in mind. I even got this new fancy mic for it. Now the audio is gonna change halfway through. Alright, here's some footage of me casting the aluminum. Type shit. Anyway, you can't build something like this and just cut yourself by only melting aluminum. So I threw some glass in there. I'm not gonna lie, I outdid myself in this one. I only had it in there for like 2 minutes before it was basically liquid. All in all, if I left it in for like an extra minute, it would have flown a lot better. But I had to get this pretty cool formation out of it, even though the crucible is now just permanently lined with glass. If you're still here, consider forcing this video on all of your friends and family, but more importantly, I have a immediate, potentially life-threatening issue. I'm unemployed, so I made a Patreon so I can tell people I have a job.